Short point today comes from a recent exchange I had, which reminded me that you can't get help on something you're not doing. You have to be doing something to get help at doing it. And this is a case where, an otherwise sensible person who's done some things and a perfectly fine, head on his shoulders kind of guy, which is one of my signs that this probably affects more people because it's not like as obvious as this sounds. It still happens to people who, again, day to day navigating life just fine. But in order to get help on something, you have to already be doing that thing. I can't help you write a paper you haven't started. I can't help you program games if you haven't been doing any game programming. It'd be like if you went to a sports team coach and asked for help at the sport, and they'll be like, well, have you been to practice lately? And if you've not been going to practice and you've not been doing it, it's going to be pretty hard for them to give you any feedback because they can't observe what you've been doing. You don't know from your own difficulties where you're having problems. You really, as a starting point, the only advice you can get if you're not doing it is go do it and then come back and then we'll see what we can do. I figured the same thing out when I was in undergrad. We'd have these assignments and stuff for computer science, and if you try to go and get help from a TA on an assignment you hadn't started, well, they could do it for you. But otherwise, they can't help you if you haven't started it. You got to do it far enough until you run into questions, far enough until you start seeing your own patterns in your work, far enough to get feedback on it, far enough to be doing it. Because until then, that doesn't make any sense. There's no way to give feedback on what's not being done. I can't critique your picture you haven't drawn. Now, there is a hidden thing underneath this. Of course, there's this assumption that you can get yourself to do that thing. So those of you who watched enough of my videos know I'm, of course, referring to what I set up as getyourselftodothings.com. That material continues to evolve. It's coming along well. Another message going out soon with some pretty cool updates. If you're not on that list, getyourselftodothings.com. It's a free email list. Sign up for. You'll get some of the, basically, I'm going to be sharing some of that content as it takes shape. That's where to follow. But that has to do with that question of, okay, there's a much more general question, right? If you can't get yourself to draw the picture, to start coding, to start writing the paper, to do whatever the thing is, that's actually a universal question. That has nothing to do with drawing or programming or a sport or whatever. That just means you need a way to get yourself to start something you're not doing. And so I've been studying that space precisely because I do find people like this guy who legitimately their hang up is they know they want to do the thing. They know the thing they want to do. They even know the steps for doing it, but they're not even taking the first step down that path. And so I've been collecting I've been studying it, reading about it, working with people one-on-one, training clients, people in my group, sort of privately through direct messages, testing out different strategies and different ways of looking at why and how do we hold ourselves up from starting? What are the issues that we can kind of reframe that help unlock our ability to just get ourselves to do the things, including some real simple techniques and tactics that help us steer, that help us be in control of here's what I mean to be doing, why am I not doing it? If that's the problem you're having, that's not a game programming question. That's not a writing question. That's not an art question. That's not a sports question. That's a question of how to get yourself to do things. If you're curious to learn more about that, check out getyourselftodothings.com, and I will be sharing more of this information soon.